And we do appreciate everyone joining today by Zoom. Obviously we're all going through the same situation together that we've been going through. So I'd like to say a few words about the Friends and the contributions that the Friends have made to the Waisman Center in the almost 50 years of the existence of the Friends organization, and then also in this past year, which, as Dan mentioned, was a very strong year for us. You can see here that we've contributed more than $1 million over the course of the existence of the Friends organization. For those who are not familiar with the Friends is a group of individuals that includes employees, faculty of the Waisman Center, members of the community, and businesses in the community who all want to get together and provide support. We provide support in a number of different ways, but that includes fundraising, it includes volunteer activities, and it also includes outreach to the greater community so that people have a better understanding of what it is that Waisman does and all of the great things that Waisman contributes to the community and to science at large. So you can see over the years, we've been able to contribute more than $1 million. We've been able to do so in areas that might not have been funded or supported through other means, and thus make a significant difference for the patients with developmental disabilities, many of them children who are served by the Waisman Center. So we move to the next slide. This past year, as Dan mentioned, was a very challenging year, but it was also a very good year. And I'm going to talk about some of the particular innovative things that the board was able to do to continue to support the Waisman Center despite the difficulty of the pandemic. You can see that we contributed over $50,000 in financial support, including a $25,000 gift to the ECHO program. The ECHO program, for people who are not familiar with it, stands for the Extension for Community Healthcare Outcomes. This is a new initiative that uses video conferencing technology to provide education and case consultation on best practice clinical services to the greater community. This allows the Waisman Center to serve as a hub and expand their expertise to the clinicians throughout the state and beyond. And we were very proud to make a contribution of $25,000 to this program over the past year. We've made a number of other smaller contributions, but as Dan mentioned, we also have some additional cash, and we are thinking right now about some additional projects that we can do to continue to provide support. So moving on to the next slide. In order to have such a good year, the board was challenged to be innovative. And so, looking at some of the particular activities that we did, historically, our golf benefit has been one of our most important fundraisers. We were not able to do it in the same way that we normally would, which includes a lot of networking and a lot of social time. Instead, we had to move into a format where foursomes played staggered tee times. We were really, really happy to see the community continue to support the Waisman Center despite this different format, and in the end, raise almost $30,000 for the Waisman Center with this benefit. And a particular thanks to Guy Stratton for his leadership as the chair on this program. Moving to the next slide. Another place that we had to significantly innovate is around what used to be our spring concert. Clearly, in an environment where people can't gather for something like a concert, we had to think of a different way to do things. And with the wonderful leadership of Linda Berman, came up with this idea for a stay-at-home benefit. This year was actually the second year we did this. Both years have been terrific successes in terms of the amount of money we were able to raise, the feedback that we've received from our supporters and our donors, and just everybody who participated in it. This was really a great event where people were able to get a wonderful meal hand delivered to their home with some other, additions that were put into the bag. Lots of great sponsors, not just financially, but some of the in-kind sponsorship for this as well. And ultimately, we raised almost $27,000 through this stay-at-home benefit event. Moving to the next slide. And then finally, and one of the events that is particularly important to me, because this one is not just about bringing in fundraising, but this is really our event where we're able to engage the largest part of the community, including many of the people who receive services from the Waisman Center. And this is our annual Waisman Whirl. In a quote unquote normal year, this would be a walk, run, roll that would occur, run, walk, roll, that would occur on a single day and time, starting and ending at the Waisman Center. We decided last year that we weren't going to be able to do an in-person event. So instead, we made it a month-long Walktober celebration where people were able to participate from anywhere, keep track of their miles. And this ultimately allowed us to open up to a much broader group of people, even people from outside of the Wisconsin area, and resulted in us raising more than $23,000. Pictured here on the slide is Lauren, who is one of our Wonder Whirlers. We highlighted many of the kids who receive services as Wonder Whirlers. Lauren participates in the whirl every year, keeps track of her time, and is really proud that every year she manages to set a new personal record for her walk. Move on to the next slide, please. So looking forward to the future, we do have our annual golf benefit coming up on September 20th. This will be back to the standard format. So we encourage everybody to sign up if you have not already done so. And then looking a little bit beyond that, looking at the Walktober Whirl, we're going to stick with this month-long concept so that we can continue to reach out to a broader group of people who want to support the Waisman Center. But we will have a kickoff in-person event on Sunday, October 3rd at the Waisman Center. So combining, we hope, the best of both approaches. Moving to the next slide. And I'm going to conclude my portion before I hand it over with just a huge thank you to everybody on the Friends Board of Directors for all of the hours, all of the innovation and the ideas and the passion that they bring to this organization. All of the things that we've just mentioned would not be possible without all of these people. And we're particularly excited that in the last year, we've added two new members. We're always looking for more people who are passionate about our mission, who want to work with us to try to provide more benefits and value to the Waisman Center. All right.
Okay, I guess that's the cue for me to join. This is Chang, Director of the Waisman Center. And first of all, just want to say thank you to the Friends of the Waisman Center Board. And I want to welcome the two new members, Drew and Scott. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting us into the future. And I want to acknowledge that this last year, the support from the Friends is particularly meaningful. Because of the pandemic, everybody knows that it's a challenging time, but the community we serve, the people who are affected by intellectual and developmental disabilities, they are disproportionately more negatively impacted by the pandemic, and illustrated by what Eric was saying, the lack of in-person visit to the clinics, and that's part of the reason we wanted to accelerate and further expand the ECHO program that would provide training to service providers in the community and support workers in the community to help those people and families affected by IDD. And this type of remote training and remote service mode is going to be critical into the future. So that support from the Waisman, from the Friends Board for this ECHO project is highly appreciated. So thank you so much. And I just want to quickly mention a few things from last year, although it has been challenging. Together through collaboration, the community, our supporters, and the staff and trainees and faculty members of the Waisman Center, we are continuing to advance our mission. We don't stop working, and wanted to highlight a few noteworthy events and what we are expecting down the road. Next slide, please. So to do our work, we want the right people here at the Waisman Center. So we're always on the lookout to bring new people, new blood, and their vision and their impactful work to the Waisman Center. And we got two outstanding researchers to the center last year. Bernadette Gillick is a tenured associate professor. We're able to pry away from the University of Minnesota. Her home department is with pediatrics, and her research program is directly related to our mission in improving the lives of people affected by disabilities. And because her work has a strong rehabilitation component through the understanding of neuromodulation plays the role of neuromodulation in recovery of brain functions from early neural insult. And the second faculty we are able to recruit last year is Andre Sousa. Andre's start actually was affected by COVID. It was delayed because of the pandemic. He joins us from Yale University, where he received his PhD training and postdoctoral training. His home department is neuroscience. His focus is genomics, and he's actually the second hire in our functional genomics cluster. And his expertise is in non-human primate and human brain development in the early stage, and using omics, cutting-edge omics approaches. We're very excited to have both here, and they have hit the ground running, obtaining extramural support during the short amount of time they are here, and establishing several impactful collaborations with existing faculty members in the center. So very, very happy to have them here. And I know I saw Andre on the call, so welcome. And I'm not sure if Bernadette is on the call, but we welcome both. Next slide, please. So this is another very exciting new effort at the Waisman Center. This is a collaboration between UW Health, Waisman Center, the UW Center for Human Genomics and Precision Medicine across the street. That is run by Dr. Stephen Mayan. And this is an undiagnosed disease clinic physically here at the Waisman Center. And this is really an opportunity to take advantage of the cutting-edge omics techniques in diagnosis, using these cutting-edge tools to look for genetic causes of diseases that are previously undiagnosed. And Stephen has established a pretty extensive network across the state to let people know what we have here, and also to get referrals from across the state to have people seen in this particular clinic. It is one of the 11 specialty clinics physically housed here at the Waisman Center. All of those are collaboration between Waisman Center and UW Health, American Family Children's Hospital, and the Department of Pediatrics. So we have high hopes for this one to make an impact. Many of you probably remember just a couple of years ago when we ran a story about a patient whose life was fundamentally changed by receiving a genomic diagnosis of a disease that has sort of puzzled him and also negatively impacted his life quality for a long time. And soon after receiving the diagnosis and understanding the genetic causes, he was able to receive very effective treatment, almost recovering to normal functionality. So that's why we really have very high hope for these patients who, through many years, through many clinic visits, have not received a clear molecular diagnosis for the diseases. So hopefully we'll hear many successful stories in the years to come. Next slide, please. What is on the horizon? The Friends Golf Benefit, as you heard from Eric, is coming up. And the annual Signature War event is coming up in October. And want to make an announcement that we're looking to return to in person with the Wiley seminar series. This is the weekly science talks with researchers from all over the country to share the newest, most recent research result from their labs through a wide range of research focusing on IDD. And we have 4 Day with the Experts events lined up in this coming year. And in the past, these are very popular events with the community. That's where we share the knowledge we gained in research and also the best practice, clinical practice with our community. And I would encourage all people from all walks to join us in these events and learn more about what Waisman Center does. If you haven't interacted with us in the past, but if you do, keep updated with the most recent advances. Next slide, please. So this gets into the award phase of today's meeting, and I'm very honored to present the first 2 awards. These are the distinguished graduate fellowships offered by the Waisman Center. And this year, the first awardee is Brittany Sun Jung, and she's nominated by her thesis advisor, Carla Osterol. And Brittany is a 5th-year doctoral student in kinesiology, and her research is focused on investigating health disparities and factors influencing participation in health promoting activities for individuals with disabilities, as well as their families, and also to understand family relationships and context to support the development of ecologically valid family interventions targeting parent and child outcome. And she is highly committed to disseminating the importance of inclusive research method and the significance of lived experience of disability in understanding health disparities and barriers to health promotion. And previously, she was a Waisman Morse Society scholar, and she was also a land trainee. And Carla, her nominator, stated in the nomination letter that Brittany exemplifies the Waisman Center's core mission through her fervent pursuit of inclusive research, promotion of health for people with disabilities, and dedication to interdisciplinary training and collaborations. Her commitment to community partnership and stakeholder-focused dissertation efforts are the embodiment of the Wisconsin idea, and she shows great promise as a future scholar and advocate for children's development and family well-being. With that, I don't know, typically if it's in person, we'll welcome the person to the stage to receive the award and have the mentor up as well to take some pictures. So Teresa, do we do anything here aside from virtual applauses?
Virtual applause it is.
Okay, all right. Congratulations, Brittany Sun Jung, and congratulations to Carla Osterol. Next slide, please. So the second awardee this year is Olivia Surgeon. She's from Brittany Traverse's lab, and Olivia is a 5th-year doctoral student in neuroscience. Her dissertation is focused on the developmental, psychosocial, and neurobiological basis of hand grip strength on autism and why it differs in autistic individuals. Her research has the potential to transform how we conceptualize the motor symptoms in ASD as they relate to key neurobiological functions and structures, potentially unveiling novel biomarkers and creating new pathways for clinical interventions. And Brittany enthusiastically endorsed Olivia's candidacy by saying that Olivia is my first doctoral trainee, and she has proven herself to be incredibly productive and promising. She is asking important questions about the neurobiological basis of sensory and motor skills in autistic individuals. While most studies use only one neuroimaging modality, Olivia is combining multiple neuroimaging techniques to elucidate what is happening in the brain to lead to motor skill differences in autistic individuals. And she's the ideal graduate student, rigorous in her attention to detail, intellectually curious, an excellent communicator, and fiercely committed to science for the benefit of others. And her passion for doing science that helps the autism community is unparalleled. And she has been an exceptional contributor to the mission of our lab and to the mission of the Waisman Center. So congratulations to Brittany Travers and to Olivia Surgeon. Okay, so I think that's it for me, and I'll turn the baton back to Eric so that he can hand out those Friends Award awards. Eric?
Yep, thanks, Chang. And it is my pleasure now to be able to give out the Friends Awards. This is actually much more fun than the first part where I'm just talking about us. It's much more fun to talk about what other people are doing. I will echo what Chang just said, that it'd be much nicer if we had the opportunity to invite people to come up and with their nominator and have their picture taken and shake their hands. But it is great people are using the chat field, so I encourage everybody to keep sending in their comments in chat, and we'll keep doing the virtual applause. So the first Friends Award goes to Matt Zamet, nominated by Brad Christian. Matt recently completed his PhD in medical physics. He was nominated for this award by Brad Christian. Matt's research investigated the time course of neuroimaging biomarkers for Alzheimer's disease in adults with Down syndrome. His research involved detailed analysis of PET and MRI neuroimaging data acquired from Christian's Alzheimer's Biomarker Consortium Down syndrome study. As Brad states in his nomination letter, Matt has been a tremendously hardworking researcher with an incredibly high level of productivity. His demanding thesis project necessitated not only a deep understanding of the scientific questions we're pursuing in a rapidly evolving field, but also required exceptional organizational skills and creativity. These attributes are something that Matt has had to work diligently to develop, and as he continues to grow into a talented young scientist. Matt has been an invaluable resource in my lab, and his willingness and patience to not only train and help new students become acclimated to the lab setting, but also in contributing toward a welcoming, inclusive, and overall positive lab environment. So congratulations, Matt, on some really great research and a job well done. So virtual applause. The second Friends Award goes to Sarah Bubish. And I should apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. I apologize for that. She was nominated by Leanne DeWalt and Anne Bradford Harris. Sarah is a third-year doctoral student in the special education program in the Department of Rehabilitation Psychology and Special Education. She is also a trainee in the Leadership Education and Neurodevelopmental Disabilities, or LEND program. She was nominated for this award by Leanne DeWalt and Anne Bradford Harris. Sarah's contributions to the LEND program in the last year include a major effort in preparing and launching the Disability Justice modular curriculum for other LEND trainees, participating in the pilot of a transition consultation interdisciplinary team activity for LEND trainees and faculty to serve families remotely, co-facilitating group learning experiences for first-year LEND trainees, and working with the Wisconsin Integrated Transition Pilot Planning Project a one-year collaborative effort with communities in Wisconsin to improve transition planning for families who have difficulty accessing services. All of this work has been concurrent and in addition to her doctoral work in special education. As stated on their nomination, Sarah is a gifted teacher, a compassionate colleague, an advocate for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and an eager and enthusiastic team member. She's a joy to work with and exemplifies the type of student who contributes to the expertise and mission of the Waisman Center UCEDD. We look forward to Sarah's continued excellent contributions to improving the lives of people with IDD in her future career. So great work, Sarah. Congratulations, and virtual applause. The next award, the University Staff Awards, goes to Donna Bolig, Megan Eastwood, Roy Emerson, and Maria Perez, nominated by Jules Panksip and Tracy Hageman. Donna, Megan, Roy, and Maria were nominated for this award by Jules Panksip and Tracy Hageman for their work as animal research technicians, or ARTs, in the Waisman Center's Rodent Model Corps. The animal research technicians are essential personnel who worked on site throughout the pandemic. After the university announced the shutdown in March of 2020, there was a scramble to order and store enough supplies to sustain the animals with food, water, bedding, and other materials for an extended period during this uncertain time. The ARTs worked long hours to meet requirements of the shutdown and to subsequently maintain irreplaceable research animals for Waisman investigators over the coming months. As stated in their nomination form, Megan Eastwood and Roy Emerson have been employed as ARTs at Waisman for 12 years, Donna Bolig for 10 years, and Maria Perez for 3 years. During this time, there have been many changes in the Rodent Model Corps, and all of the ARTs have continually taken on new tasks to facilitate research and offer technical support for investigators. There is a constant rapport between the ARTs and research staff to accommodate research needs and maintain regulatory compliance. The University Staff Award would be a meaningful acknowledgement of their dedication and important role in our research programs. And I think just another highlight of all of the things that have had to be done during the pandemic that people don't necessarily think about. So thank you to all four for your tremendous contributions, and virtual applause. Next up, Academic Staff Award goes to Clark Kellogg, as nominated by Jody Bleck. Clark was nominated for this award by Jody Bleck for his work with the Waisman Communications team as a media specialist. As stated in her nomination letter, Clark's role on the communication team has continued to expand as he has developed his skills. He showed tremendous initiative when he expanded his skill set and filled a need to broaden our digital presence in audio and video communication systems and capabilities. Clark has become the go-to person at Waisman for help with AV, remote meeting, event planning, and support services. He shows great patience and provides consistent and exceptional customer service. Clark is generous with his time and effort, ensuring weekend and after-hours events are staffed and come off without a problem. His flexibility and willingness to never say no when someone needs his help means that he is many times staying late and sacrificing his personal time. He willingly gives of his time after hours and on weekends to successfully carry out the many outreach, community, and fundraising events that are coordinated by the Waisman Communications team. He always has a positive attitude and a high level of professionalism. Clark is a tremendous asset to the communications team and the broader Waisman Center community. And I will personally thank Clark for all of the work that he does for the Friends organization amongst all of this other activity that was just described here. So thank you, Clark. Congratulations, and virtual applause. The next award is the Family Appreciation Award for volunteer efforts, which goes to Pam Miller and Gizik and Minnow Clawitter, nominated by Teresa Palumbo. So Pam, Gizik, and Minnow were nominated for this award by Teresa for their ongoing and dedicated efforts to raise funds and awareness about the Waisman Center's autism research through the sale of note cards designed by Gizik and his brother Minnow. As stated in her nomination, through designing and selling his art as note cards and prints, Gizik and his family have raised autism awareness and significant funds for autism research at the Waisman Center. Pam, Gizik's mother, has sold thousands of cards at locations throughout their community, including grocery stores and shopping centers. At their booth sales, they include Waisman materials and information about autism research and resources to help individuals on the spectrum and their families. Pam and Gizik are great community ambassadors in sharing the work of the Waisman Center throughout Sawyer County and directing support to the center's autism efforts. The family donates 100% of the proceeds, more than $11,000 to date, from their card sales to autism research at the center. In sharing their experiences, they hope to increase the understanding and respect for individuals with autism and promote the mission of the Waisman Center. So truly, truly remarkable. And on behalf of the friends and everybody, a huge thank you and recognition for this effort and the contributions you're making. So congratulations and thank you. And that wraps up the awards for today. We really appreciate everybody joining us, listening to us talk about what the Friends organization is all about, but much more importantly, listening to your peers and friends receive their awards. I will hand it now back over to Teresa to see if there's any final words that she would like to say.
Eric, I just want to thank you for your leadership, as well as everyone else on the Friends board, for the unique gifts and skills that you bring to the center. We're so grateful for all the work that everyone does on behalf of the Waisman Center out in our community, and just encourage everyone who's viewing with us today, find a way to be involved in the work of the Friends. Join us for the whirl or the golf benefit or any number of activities that we do. We're all in this together for Waisman.
Thank you, Teresa. Hopefully we're all together face-to-face and live next year.